Hi everybody, welcome to God's Words to Ponder. This week I thought we would do the word sin. Did you know there's 7 types of sin? Well, there is, and I'll list them for you and give you any other information that I can come up with. I figured we'd talk about number 1 today. Oh, I figured after all this time I should have been introducing myself. My name is Donna, and I love to share God's Word. So, if you like to hear God's Word and share it as well, then stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this time, as I said, we'll talk about the word sin. And I found that sin has 7 names in the study that I did. The first one was transgression. Second one is iniquity. Third one is error. Fourth one is missing the mark. Fifth one is trespass. Sixth one was lawlessness. And seventh one was unbelief. And I did this study and I thought, well, this is something that I'd like to share because maybe other people out there don't know about the 7 names. So I thought, let's start with number 1, transgression. Now, transgression is an overstepping of the law, the divine boundary between good and evil. And then I thought, well, maybe some people don't know what the law is. So then I thought, well, okay, the law is instructions or guidance. Example, there's a lot of laws in the Bible, and it's not kind of like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. The laws that He gives us are instructions and guidance so that we can live closer to Him, being God, and know the things that will be beneficial to us as Christians wanting to follow God, and not to do because it wouldn't be beneficial. So if you're transgressing, you're overstepping those laws and doing what you please. Doesn't sound like a good thing, huh? Especially since God put those laws there to help us. God revealed His law to a redeemed community as gracious instructions. And when I read that, I thought, that's a nice way of putting it. Alright, so let's start again. God revealed His law to a redeemed community as a gracious instruction for a righteous life. I thought, nice. Lifestyle that I've stumbled over it again. I'm going to start again. God revealed His law to a redeemed community as gracious instructions for a righteous lifestyle that would honor and glorify Him and result in a long, happy, and peaceful life. However, problems will come. Problems come to all of us. Today was a problem day for me. Seemed like every time I turned around, something went wrong. You know those days. Hit with problems every step I took today. But I got through it because I knew God was with me and He was going to take care of me. Sometimes I had to stop and pray. And sometimes I didn't have enough time right at that moment to stop and pray, and I had to keep myself as together as I could and then take that moment. But God was with me, and He let me get through it, and He let me get through it in a way that was pretty good. So God says that peace comes when we trust Him and leave those problems in His hands, like I did today. In 1 Peter 5:7, my favorite verse, actually. It says, casting all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. He does. He cares for us so much. He talks about it in his word a lot. He talks about the fact that we are more precious than many sparrows, and he knows when one sparrow falls. So if he knows when one sparrow falls, and we're more precious than that, he really cares. He loves us so much, he knows how many hairs are on our head. He knew us before we were born. He knows all about us. He knows our thoughts. He knows our heart and our intent. When problems come, where are we reacting in a way that is pleasing ourselves or pleasing God? Let's try to find a way to react in a way that pleases God. Sometimes it's really hard though, and I know. Are we showing forth Jesus? Or are we showing forth Satan with our reactions? Jesus reveals the heart of the law is love the Lord thy God. And I do. I really, truly love the Lord thy God. And I am so thankful that I have him. And the second part, and your neighbor as yourself. So in Matthew and in Mark, it tells you that. And it's Matthew 22:37 to 40 and Mark 12:29 to 31. And I'll try to make sure I put it on the top of the screen so you can pause it and write it down if you want to look it up. And the 1 Peter 5:7. This week's words to think about is transgression. And think about the fact of, do we want to overstep his law? Do we want to make a separation between us and God? God knows what we say, what we do, what we think. And it tells us that in Isaiah 39, verses 1 and 2. And I thought I'd read that. I have, whenever I'm out and about and I don't have my big Bible with me, I've got my phone with my Bible on it, so I know I can read it, because I have a Bible app. And I recommend it, because this Bible app gives me a verse a day. So when I start my day, I get a verse. And it's just puts my mindset in what I need to focus on so that I can study his word further. Sometimes I study the verse and what it's telling me. Sometimes I have other things that I'm studying. Like I'm studying the book of Isaiah. Or I'm reviewing what we learned in church. Or, there's a lot of different things. So Psalms, I'm going to get Psalms, and then I've got 139 and verses 1 and 2. And it says, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. God knows what we do. He knows what we're thinking and saying and doing. So that could be scary to some people. But it's comforting to me, because then I know he's looking after me. He knows what I'm thinking and doing, and he knows how to guide me. He knows what I should and shouldn't be doing, and he guides me in the right direction, and he's watching over me, so I know I'm taken care of. So I think it's comforting. So does God know what we say, do, and think about? Yes. Yes, he does. We should keep that in mind as much as humanly possible, because if we keep it in mind that God knows all these things and he sees everything we do, He knows all of our thoughts and our intentions. It'll help us to make wiser choices. It will help us not to transgress against God. So I thought that was a good one. I did this lesson in children's church, and I went on and we studied all the words. And I thought this would be a good one to do, because I thought not everybody may know this. And I thought maybe you guys would enjoy it too. So I hope you enjoyed it. Comment below if you enjoyed it, or give me a thumbs up, or tell me some other thoughts you might have about it, or something else you might want me to do a video on, and a word to ponder, something that you're not quite sure if you understand it or something. Doesn't mean I will, because I'm not perfect, but I'll do my best to find out if I don't know. I'm so glad we got this time together. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.